The top story tonight, details of the planned compensation deal for residents along the route of the proposed high-speed rail line from London to Birmingham have been announced. Ministers are saying those forced to sell their homes are getting a generous deal, and it goes significantly beyond what they're obliged to pay. The government's saying it would buy any owner-occupied home in the safeguard area, which is an area within 60 metres of the planned route. As well as paying the unblighted value, they're saying that they will pay additional compensation of 10% up to a value of £47,000 over on top of the value that's estimated. John Healer is chairman of the Stop HS2 campaign in Lichfield, joining me for a reaction. Hello, John.
Hello, Paul. How are you? I'm
fine, thank you. What do you think about the government's deal?
I think it's derisory still. It's taken them a very long time to come up with what they said was going to be the most generous deal ever. It's still in line with the way they rode roughshod over people in Kent for HS1. It's poor, really. It's certainly not the most generous deal. And as I say, they promised to start making this consultation live on February 2011. It's taken till now.
Well, it's an independent valuation plus an additional 10%, up to a max of 47 grand.
But the zones in which it covers don't actually go anywhere near covering those that will be blighted. I'd just like to add, Paul, I'm not personally one of these people that stands for compensation, but there are hundreds, if not thousands, of houses who haven't been able to move and sell, have been blighted already, and will still be blighted despite this. It's not just those that they will absolutely outright demolish.
So what your beef is that the area, which is 60 metres, within 60 metres of the planned route, that's area 1, and there is another area, but you're saying that doesn't cover enough homes?
Well, it doesn't cover it, and also if you think about it, if you can't afford the compensation, then you can't afford HS2, and fair compensation for people that are going to be moved out of their home, and lives and generations of families and businesses that are going to be upset, but predominantly families and businesses. It's just poor, really, if you're not going to make a fair and reasonable compensation. What they're saying about independent reviews, forgive my cynical approach to this, but it's been a very underhanded way that it's all been very surreptitiously announced and brought out up to now.
So what would be fair?
A wider and more realistic view of those that are blighted by it, much more further reaching, including the areas in which other service roads, other elements will come into this. They're talking about the line. They're also talking about the compensation not coming out until a year after the trains go down the line. Now, that's going to be something like 15, 17 years, assuming they build it on plan.
Because I know they're talking about hundreds of homes that are within the range here, plus, businesses as well. But from what you're saying, you'd want a greater area to be covered, those that are within a greater proximity of the HS2 route, and that would mean thousands of people.
OK, well, just as a for instance, in Staffordshire, because they're still defining the route, there are hundreds of houses that are still blighted by this because they haven't clearly defined what the route's going to be. So, the housing market in many areas is being suppressed by this.
Sounds like it might still have quite a way to go, this. John, good to talk to you tonight.